Hi you all, today we're gonna make some delicious country style homemade bread. What we need is, I'm using dry yeast and good quality unbleached flour. And first we have to activate the yeast. So we need 2 tablespoons of flour and I'm gonna use 2 full tablespoons of dry yeast. Put them in a bowl. And you need warm water, and make sure you're mixing it up, the yeast and the flour, and then start adding the filtered water slowly and mixing it up, stirring, mixing nice. And this is gonna stay about an hour. It's gonna make us great starter. Cover it up, put a towel on it and put it on the side. Now we are using my wife's homegrown beets. I got 3 pieces of beets and it's gonna be surprisingly adding to our bread. And I'm peeling the beets, then I'm gonna slice them in 4 pieces. It's up to size of the beets you want to use. Sometimes it's just 3 slices. Why we do need beets on this project is we're gonna use the water, the full of vitamin beets water into making bread. Boil the beets, medium high, boil it up. It takes about 45 minutes and make sure you use fork or knife. If it is soft enough, if you can cut it comfortably, this is what you want. Don't make it mushy. And let the water cool down. You see the red, pink, dark pink water, delicious and full of vitamin. Put it in a jar, mason jar or glass. And after 1 hour we see our yeast work very well, all the bubbles are on, and now we're ready to make the bread. And I'm sifting 5 cups of unbleached good quality bread flour. We need a large size of bowl to make this bread, and we're not gonna mess any other bowl, or we're not gonna mess over the counter, so that way there will be less mess and you can do this bread in a small kitchen. So after sifting flour, we are adding our yeast, which worked already very well, and then we're adding 1 full tablespoon of sugar, and we will also add 1 tablespoon of salt. Let's start mixing it up very well. We're gonna mess our hand. Use one of your hand because it's gonna be messy, sticky. I'm adding a little bit of olive oil. It's about 1 full tablespoon. And start mixing it up slowly. And I'm adding the beet water. It's warm now. And slowly. I'm not gonna tell you, oh, you have to add this much, that much. You're gonna have to feel it. You're gonna learn how to add the right amount of water. So that way you don't have to wait anything, and you're just gonna start making your bread right away. And adding little more, and we are gonna look for the right texture. When you do start adding water slowly, you will get there. If you feel like you add a lot of water extra, just add a little bit flour to balance it. That's all. So in the first we have to Mix this very well, about 15 minutes I would say. And as you see, the texture is sticky, but start getting, holding itself. When you touch it and lift it, you're gonna have to see this is happening. Thickness is what it is in the first one that you're mixing. That's about it. Getting ready to rest. And we will rest this dough, the very first one we work on now, about an hour and a half. We're gonna let it rise and then come back again. So this is the texture, y'all. Cover it up with a towel, let it rest about an hour and a half. Then we see our dough start working very well, and make sure you wet your hand. And it is still sticky, but not like in the beginning. You're lifting it up and folding. And we're gonna do this 4 times, 4 different corners. What we are doing here is capturing the air. We start capturing the air in a dough. Wet your hand, that way it's gonna be less sticky, and fold it, and come back, and lift it, and fold it again. We're gonna cover this dough another 1.5 hours. And back again, it rised, and wet your hand, and we're doing the same processing again, lifting and folding from the corners, capturing more air. And this time your dough start getting less sticky. Covering up another 1.5 hours, and this is the last time, and we come back and it rises again. And we are wetting our hands. Use filtered water when you're doing this also, like wetting your hand. And you are folding, lifting and folding. This time I do it more like 8-9 times. And meantime giving a shape, the round shape, farm style round shape bread. We are making it. Since we are using one bowl, we're not messing any others and counters, and there won't be any dishes to wash later. And get the flour. Don't be afraid of using a lot of flour, because we can clean it up, brush it later. Just make sure all the parts of your dough is getting enough flour. And when you touch it, you're gonna feel it. It's like jelly. And I'm lifting it from corner and making sure the bottom is getting also flour too. This way it's not gonna stick to your pot while it's cooking. Looks great, looks pink. I'm placing a water in the bottom of the oven and turning the oven 425. Each oven is different. So I got this cast iron pan. We have to warm it up about half an hour. It's very hot, be careful. And now I'm making sure the bottom of the pan got enough flour. Don't be afraid of the flour, we can brush it off later. And now get some flour on your hand and round your dough and carefully placing over the pan. And make sure the corners are also has enough flour. And now I'm going to score the bread, the dough. I got one big score all the way from sides, north to south, and then I will score a couple of them over. It looks great and pink. Place your pan, and I got this cover from thrift store, few bucks. It's just perfect, covering all the pan. And 90 minutes your bread is going to be ready. 10 minutes before, 8 minutes I took over the cover, and that way the top is more crunchy. And this is a perfect bread you would love to cook and enjoy eating it. There are a lot of flours on the bottom, but we're gonna scrub it with a towel or brush it off. And this bread looks so beautiful and delicious. The smell is so good and it's soft, but meantime, see the crunch. This is what you want. You want crunch, softness, and delicious sourdough farm style bread. And resting is really important. Minimum of half an hour you have to rest your bread. Over the screen, over the board, you gotta rest it before you cut it. This is the simplest way to make a homemade bread. And now we're cutting our bread. I have a surprise for you. Probably you are expecting to see the bread, inside of the bread is pink, but it's not going to. It's like a mustard color, light mustard color, dark yellow. But the part is important here. We have a lot of benefit. This bread is more delicious than you ever taste if you're using beet water. A lot of vitamin, a lot of pluses. This is the simplest way to make a homemade bread. Bread looks good. And what we're gonna do is the leftover, we are making an appetizer, Mediterranean diet appetizer, and also this mixture is one of my favorite and has a lot of health benefit. Slicing couple of lemon and squeeze it and dump it inside of the leftover beet water. And I have a shot of apple vinegar, I'm adding it in, and salt. Small tablespoon, half salt added inside, and shake the mixture like bartending, shaking it up. And put this mixture in the fridge and get a couple sips every day before you start your meal or after. This is gonna help your digestion. And the rest, I'm gonna add a little bit crumb feta cheese. As you all know, I love feta cheese. And the beets, the sliced beet we have, we're gonna chop them up as a cube. And mixing it up, the beet, feta cheese, and of course black pepper. You don't need to add a salt because the cheese is already salty. And oregano, of course. And for sure I'm adding a good quality olive oil. I have some Kalamata olives. I'm gonna add that on too. Oh, fresh mint or dry mint, must. Pinch of it. This is an appetizer, Mediterranean diet if you have to do it, which I would recommend you to. the healthiest diet. I'm adding a little bit more olive oil. Kalamatas are on, and enjoy it. This is delicious with the bread you made. Thank you so much for watching, and please make sure you subscribe and like and make a comment. See you next time.